food. We've got sweet tea and lemonade and water. You're gonna grab something. Also, this is gonna be super casual as well. So if you need to hop up in the middle of it and go get something. Bathrooms are right outside this door to the left. Girls, you'll almost walk right into it. And then guys, you just go a few steps down further. There's a water fountain. If purified water is not your thing, or spring water, I didn't even read the label. But I'm gonna go ahead and invite our panel. You guys go ahead and come on and have a seat. No particular order. And as you notice, as they're coming up, you'll notice on the screen, we'll just keep this up the entire time. I'm going to do some brief introductions and just kind of give you all a little bit of vision for why we're here tonight, and then introduce these guys, and then really the meat of where tonight goes will come from you guys. We want to hear, you're here for a reason, you chose to be here tonight, and I've already talked to a couple people as they came in the room, and just the flyer or the text or the whatever, something about the invite tonight just sparked, man, that's the season I'm in. That's exactly what I need to hear and what I want to learn. And so we hope that tonight, I love that it's a smaller group. Hopefully we get some more questions. And I hope that you leave here at least having your questions answered, or maybe somebody else asks a question you weren't thinking of or asks your question for you. And so that's really the heart of why we're here tonight. Let me pray for us real quick, and then we will get started. Jesus, thank you for tonight. Thank you for this moment, this team, these people, these students, God. I just pray that you would open up our hearts tonight, God. Open up our ears and our minds just to hear through us, God, but ultimately just to hear from you. Lord, guide our conversation and the discussion, and I pray that it all points back to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so tonight, just through some conversations over the last couple months with peers and with some of these guys here on the stage, we have seen this pattern of just circulation through not just one generation, but really across generations of fear and change and transition. And am I making the right choices? Have I made wrong choices? Are those choices correctable? Am I too far down one path to make another change? Whatever that looks like. It's a really broad spectrum. And so as we discuss kind of who would be up here tonight and some of the topics that we hope to go into, we just hope that tonight is completely transparent and real. None of this is scripted. You're not getting a message tonight. This isn't a speech or a lecture, but we just hope that through sharing of experiences and kind of the journeys that we have been on will help hopefully guide you in something you're currently in, wrestling with. You know somebody, family, friend, that's right there as well. And so I want to introduce our team. First, I'll start. My name's Ian. I'm the worship pastor and student pastor here at Winton. I'm 34 years old. You forget after 30, or you try to forget. And I moved from Atlanta in 2003 to come to Columbus State, got my degree in early childhood education, got a job as a 4th and 5th grade teacher for 8 years, and then there was this wrestle in me of, I was really beginning to dislike that, but also this tension of like there was something else I was supposed to be doing. And so boldly left teaching in 2016 to pursue ministry, not completely knowing what that would look like and what all would be on the table. And so there have been a lot of, even this topic for me is very present in my own journey, in my own life, of this like, whoa, have I made the right choices? Am I running down the wrong path? What does this look like? Where does it end up? And so that's who I am. Dom, where's Dom sitting? All right, Dom, Dominique. He's down here. He graduated from high school with one goal, probably similar to a lot of us, never to go back to school again. After chasing a dream to become the next great Winn-Dixie store manager, he changed courses and enlisted in the U.S. Army, ironically to earn college money. Through a complex series of events, he stumbled his way into and through the United States Military Academy at West Point, later earning his master's degree and served in the Army for 24 years before retiring and starting a new career. He has 3 children, one a recent graduate who is embarking on his career search, and then 2 who are currently in college. And he is still trying to decide what to do when he grows up. Amen. Perfect panel contestant. LaWanda, where's LaWanda at? LaWanda is a creative with a wide range of administrative and customer service skills under her belt. She started college in 2008, dropped out to enter into the workforce, later returning to trade school in 2017 to become a licensed master cosmetologist and entrepreneur. Hallie, right here next to me in the blue shirt. Hallie is from Columbus, spent 2 years in college, but did not graduate, is a recovering alcoholic, cancer survivor, and has been through multiple career changes herself. She struggled a lot with fear and the feeling of maybe wasting time, but is learning that no time is wasted in Jesus' time. JT, married to JT right here next to her. JT changed his college major twice before graduating, has never held a job using his degree. He has had 6 major career changes, experienced divorce, survived a long unemployment period after a job layoff late in his life, and is leaning fully in faith in Jesus Christ. Kyle, right there in the middle, War Eagle. Kyle changed his college major 3 times from history to exercise science, secondary education. He worked in a job in his major for 1 year, changed careers 3 times from coaching college baseball to working in the business world, and then on to full-time ministry. Through it all, Kyle has seen God's sovereignty and plan for his life play out. Mary Casey, right in the middle. Mary Casey is from Columbus, is a graduate 2018 from Sanford University in Birmingham. She's currently working at United Way, helping to raise money on a campaign team. And Jay Grantham, in his plaid. Oh, good old Jay dreamed of being a rock star, went to school to be a dentist, ended up with a degree in business, and after 30 years of working in a bank, went to seminary and is now senior pastor of this church right here. That's probably the widest scale of what you thought you'd be and where you ended up. So, we're here tonight. I'm going to start off with question 1. Hopefully you guys are texting these questions in. They will come right to me. They don't tell me who they came from, so we'll just read them. If they're directed at somebody, maybe something we read resonates with you, and you're like, I want to ask that person this question, then attach their name or say this question is for, and we'll go from there. So question 1, I want to start, Mary Casey, with you. You're the most recent out of college. Is it turned on? Yes. Sweet. You're the most recent out of college. So, with an environment like this or an event like this, what do you wish maybe you're sitting in this room 4 or 5 years ago? What question would you have asked, or what do you wish you might have known 4 or 5 years ago?
I think the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about that, can you all hear me? Okay. So I went to Sanford, like you said, and that's a really expensive school, and I wish someone had told me, like, hey, you don't have to go to such an expensive school. I don't necessarily regret that, but that's just something that's like worth considering, especially when you decide to work for a nonprofit. And I also think I wish someone had told me that it's not that important what you decide when you first get to college. Like, your first major doesn't matter, and it's all going to work out. You don't have to, like, I wish I hadn't spent so much time stressing about decisions I was going to make that ultimately worked out on their own time, and I didn't really need to rush things or lose sleep over it.
All right, this is for anybody on the stage up here. You guys keep texting in questions. I like what you're doing. Can you recall, just looking back through kind of just the brief journeys we've shared, were there influential people or an influential person that either maybe helped guide you into chaos or maybe influenced some wrong directions? You don't have to say names, but some people that you significantly thinking back on go, wow, if it wasn't for that person, I probably would have ended up, or maybe would not have ended up going this route, trying this thing, changing my major, dropping out, whatever that looks like. Dom?
So, to back up my story a little bit, I'm the oldest of 5 boys. My dad worked in a factory. There was just not resources. College wasn't an option coming out of high school. And so, you heard the Winn-Dixie thing, and it was great. Moved into the Army. And the person I think, when I look back, that probably had the most influence is a guy named Matt Walsh. And Matt was one of my bosses that, frankly, I probably shouldn't have ever been speaking to very much. It just happened this one rainy night in Germany. We're sitting there in the field, and we were just monitoring the radios and doing the things to make sure we were keeping track of everything going on around us. And she just starts talking, and after, I don't know, a while, because you're there bored and you're talking, he goes, "You need to apply to West Point." And my response was, "Sir, you're crazy. I'll never get in." And he continued with that. And so I applied simply to get him off my back, so I can say I tried, because I didn't think I was going to get there. And so when I look back at the steps of my life, and the way my steps were ordered, the decisions even to get me to that point, to meet Matt, and we still talk. That was, I won't tell you how long ago that was, but it was a long time ago, and we still talk. And so I think as you think about it, and I could go through years and years and years of key people, whether there's someone you work for, someone who works for you, a friend at a church. We moved around a lot, and I think you get people in your life and you just don't know what is going to come of those relationships. And I will say that you don't know what you're offering to someone either in your relationships. And it could be someone when you go off to school and they're going down the way and you build something or whatever. But when I look back to Matt, who started this whole chain of events, I wouldn't have met the wife I married, and I'm still married to 24 years later. I wouldn't have seen things, done things, and so on. And I got to believe that he was put there, and we were put in that conversation that day. And whatever he saw that I didn't see, everyone here has something about them that makes them special and unique that you may not see that someone else can see and recognize and pull out of you. And I think it's something in the lesson there. Go out, meet people, do things, engage. Don't. I tell my daughter when she's in school, don't say no for like 2 weeks to anything that's wholesome. Go. If they say, "Hey, go to the movies," you go to the movies. They say, "Do this," you go do that, because you meet people, and you build that, and those relationships then form. But I don't know, but just keep that in mind. You don't know what you're going to get out of any interaction. Take them all very seriously, and think back on it. Reflect on where you've come and what you've done and who those people have been.
That's good. That flows perfectly into this next question. Thinking back specifically your college years, so kind of that 4 or 5, 6 year window of post high school, how intentional were you with friendships? How important or how influential were the communities that you found yourself in? Looking back, you might say, "Man, I just wanted to be friends with everybody, and that got me in some trouble." Or the wisdom of I made sure to circle myself with people that were pointing me in the right direction. What did that look like for you in that college season of life? That's broad. I have specific questions for specific people in just a second.
Yeah, I think, it's, you've probably heard the saying, show me your friends, I'll show you your future a little bit. So I just think for you guys, when you go to school, I love what you said, Don, go out and meet as many people as possible, but probably have to be careful if just you get a random roommate and there's just an assumption you're going to become your friends with them right away and you're going to do what they do. And I would just say what Dom said, find some people that are doing some wholesome things, some things that you're already used to doing, keep going out until you find a small group of people that have some similar values, some similar beliefs that you have, instead of feeling like you have to please everybody, because you're going to get people from college that come from all kinds of different backgrounds. And there's a lot of learning from that. I think you should learn and grow and stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone of just the beliefs you've always had because you've lived in a bubble. So I think it's great to learn, but also think that if you're a part of a church like this and your parents have raised you in the church, there's some core values to who you are. And I wouldn't get away from those in college. I would find people that have something similar to that. And I think I can the floor that I lived on, floor 5 of I don't remember the name of it, was something tower at the school I went to. That's the friends I made right away, so that's who I hung out with for the first couple of years. And the first couple of years is where I made the most mistakes, because most of the people I was hanging with they didn't have the beliefs that I had when I, as how I grew up. So I do think if you show me your friends the first couple of years of college, I can probably show you where your grades are going to be. I can show you the mistakes you're going to make. I can show you the regrets you'll probably have. So I would say go out and meet as many people as you can, but I would say go real slow with who you become friends with. So go out fast and meet people, but be real slow with who you're going to hang with. I think that's two different things. So yeah, and the Bible says the wise walk with the wise and fools hang out with fools. So, and I will tell you this, you know who they are and who they aren't. So it is a choice that you make. So it's not hard to figure out real quick in college who some of the people that are wise are and who some of the people that are going to act like fools are. And again, stretch yourself, learn from different people's backgrounds, races, ethnicities, spiritual beliefs. That's good for you, but go real slow on who you're going to make that small group of people, the people that you do life with.
That's good. All right, JT, I'm gonna pass this one to you. It says, having a degree that I probably won't use, how did you change directions so many times in your career? Most companies are looking at your past experiences, so how can you break away from what you've always done?
Okay, that's a great question. And actually, some of it ties into the first question, and maybe even to this. Friends I made. Most of my doors were opened by acquaintance. I wouldn't call them a mentor or somebody I looked up to or even stay in touch with today, but it's someone who was in my circle at the time opened the door for me. For example, I got a degree in aviation management from Auburn University. It sounds really wonderful, right? But I was interested in that, and I interviewed or actually applied for a job at Atlanta. Probably was chasing dogs off the runway at night. I don't know. It was very low paying. When a friend that I'd worked with, that I paid my way through college, a circle of friends, was in the restaurant business, and he called me and said, "Hey, I know you're looking for a job, graduated, but would you be interested in a career in the restaurant? I know a company is hiring." It turned out to be a very well-paying job. I drove to Mobile, Alabama, and interviewed. It ended up being Ricky Tuesday Restaurants. They moved me around. I said, "I'm highly transferable," and they took me to Hard, and they moved me from Pensacola to Nashville, back down to Mobile, Birmingham, and then Montgomery. Anyway, that turned into a 5-year career. I got tired of that, and the door opened. Someone I knew, a circle in Nashville. I was in Nashville at the time. I was a general manager of a restaurant. Miserable, had a great income. Actually, that's where I met my wife, who we married later tonight. But anyway, many paths crossed. Disappoint there too. Another door opened, said, "Hey, you would be great at this." And so I interviewed for that with their support, and I got a job out of that. That turned into a technology job because I was a loan officer for a mortgage company. Not to go down a long path, but the point is that led to, "Hey, JT, you're really good at fixing computers." And it was getting close to the turn of 2000. The world's going to end technology-wise. So I went to class at night, got certified, Microsoft certified system engineer. Sounds cool. But I got a job as a junior assistant administrator with Bell South, which is Yellow Page Advertising, because I had a friend who said, "You know, you're really good at this computer stuff. You really ought to explore." So, series of events. It was always somebody in my circle. It wasn't so much my resume at the time, and I know the world has changed, and I've experienced that recently when I had a long period of layoff. They closed the doors after a 16-year career with the Yellow Pages, the technology side. But I had learned a special platform called Salesforce, which is the #1 customer relationship management platform in the world today. And I had just enough knowledge, so I went and got certified as an administrator, and the door opened its nose. So that's a long answer, but the point is, you will meet people in your journey who will open the door. Part of that is listening. Part of that I found, which I didn't have early in life, was my relationship with the Lord and having confidence and faith and listening and praying about it. So I'm much more comfortable today than I was in the first couple of careers. But resumes are important, but stay close to those in your circle that can open doors, and listening is important too. You know, sometimes it may seem like that door's never going to open, but man, you'll be surprised when you least expect it. Somebody says, "Hey, you know what you'd be good at?" And that could be another career.
It's good. All right, for any of the pastors on stage, it says, what was the first step from knowing I'm supposed to be in ministry to putting that into action? So kind of when you feel that call, what was for you the first step of stepping in obedience to that?
I'll take it real quick. The first step was really just asking myself the question, am I being called to do this professionally and make a living doing it? Or am I just being called to a higher level of discipleship as a layperson. And, I had to think about that and pray about that for a long time. In fact, I wrestled with it for 10 years. The question Dom asked a minute ago, I'll just say this real quickly. Finally, after about 10 years of wrestling with it and of doing everything I could think to do to be a disciple, to where at my work, working in my church as a volunteer, etc. I was in a small group Bible study with a group of folks that met at our house every week. And we've been doing this for weeks, and we were talking about the struggles we have being obedient to God. And I said, I'm struggling right now. I don't know whether I should be a pastor or not. And one of the members of that group, who I had not known before we put this small group Bible study together, said, well, stop struggling with it, do something about it. And that's when I knew the Holy Spirit had spoken to that person and was telling me it was time to take the next step.
You want it to, or Kyle?
Real quick. That's a great answer. The Bible says that the greatest of these is the servant of all. So I think that a great way to figure out if you're being called to full-time ministry is to start serving people, going out to outreach events, serving in your local church, serving in your youth ministry, serving in your workplace. That could look like sticking a card on somebody's desk that they've had a tough couple of weeks that are in sales, and you watch them walk around with their head down and sticking a card that says, hey, just want you to know I think you're doing a great job. And I think that as you start serving people, there'll be something where you can't sleep at night. You can't wait to get up the next day, the next serve event, the next Sunday morning, the next outreach event that you're doing. I think that's a great place to start that conversation on. There's something that really God's put in me to serve other people, and that could be a first sign of a stirring of call to ministry, that no matter how much money I'm making at the bank or how much money I'm making at AT&T, all I really can't wait to do is get out of bed and serve other people. Because that's, as pastors, whether if you're called to ministry, yeah, you get to preach and on the stage, and you get to do some other things, but really at the end of the day, we probably all got into this because we enjoyed serving people first, and then it turned into something like this. So I would say if that's a question at all, start finding every opportunity you can to serve other people and see if God doesn't do something with that.
That's good. I'll answer real quick on that because I left teaching full-time, salary, benefits, all of that. My wife was stay-at-home, and we had 2 children at that point, so people had to be fed. And for me, it just became such a wrestle of obedience. And so it was really, through many conversations and prayers and long nights and things like that, we were praying for all the answers before we made a move. Like, well, what's the next job, and how much does it pay, and is it going to be enough? And I just kept clearly hearing from the Lord, I'm not going to show you step 2 until I see you walk out step 1. And step 1 was walking into my principal's office and saying, I will not be returning next year. And he said, so what are you going to be doing? I said, I don't have a clue, but I'm just following the Lord. And that was scary as a mess. But I think for me and for Jenna and really our family, it was a huge step of faith that has helped. There have been tougher decisions even since then, but I think you're able to look back and be like, man, he carried us through that one. Let's go. What's the next one? And so it really just strengthens your faith. It doesn't always make it easier, but just obedience. That was huge. All right, for Hallie, or the lovely lady in blue. Wow. We'll find out later who said that. I don't know. I have no clue. What is your best advice on ways that a person